Hello everyone. Экспозиция тут. Hello everyone. Hello, welcome. Hi Julia. Hi Michaela. So it's so kind of very light. I don't know how it reacts. Hello, hello, hello everyone. Oh, so I begin to move. It's a little bit becoming darker. Oh my gosh. Can you hear the bells are chiming, and it means that it's 9 p.m. sharp, and we are starting our journey in Nuremberg. Hi Mark, I'm so excited to see everyone. Today is a beautiful day. It's not that cold. I was preparing for the verse because a few days before the tour in Prague, it was snowing and frosty and cold, but today is very mild, and during the day even the sun was shining, so it was seeming like the spring is coming back. But the Christmas is in the air because the smell of mulled wine, of the vanilla cookies and gingerbread remind us about Christmas. And I'm going to show you what is happening now. We are in Nuremberg. Let me use my camera. You see, it's not so many people. Right now it's a little bit less than before, but it's even good because they're closing everything. So at 9, look, they're very sharp. Like just some of them stalls are staying open, and many stalls just now closed their curtains. So that is the Christmas market in Nuremberg. We have the beautiful church in front of ours, and this is the Church of Our Lady. The beautiful Christmas trees. During the daytime, the child of the Christ is appearing here on the stage. A child of the Christ is the lady who is wearing the golden dress and a big golden crown, and she's ascending from the sky. This is the beginning of the Christmas market. But during the day, she's going to schools, to the market, just congratulating people with Christmas holidays. And she's the symbol. She is the symbol of Christmas in Nuremberg. Her name, she doesn't have a name. She's just a beautiful lady, but she is it's called the child of Christ. You see, these guys who are preparing food is not finishing yet, just picking up the corn, but a lot of stalls really like with the strike of the church, just closed everything. Okay, we will explore the city, and I have prepared a beautiful itinerary for you. So you see that most of the stalls are closed, but you will have the opportunity to explore Christmas stalls and the Christmas products with me in Strasbourg and in Colmar. Let me show you some of what. When I was walking during the day in this Christmas market, I noticed that there are a lot of local products and local things. I think that they pick up the producers deliberately, like those who are producing something in Bavaria, in this region, and they try to connect the sellers with the local market. So let's go and we will explore the city, because all of a sudden they just closed most of the stalls. They are very sharp, you know. Okay, we have the beautiful lighting, and we have the trees, we have the whole city in front of us. So my plan for to take you to the streets, which has a lot of charming history. I am going to visit with you the Executioner's Bridge and half-timbered houses. You know, not Santa Claus brings the presents, but Christmas child brings it. Yes, Michaela, this is true, and in the Czech Republic, where I'm currently a refugee, the same story. Santa Claus is not popular, but the child of the Christ, or baby Jesus, they call this him in Czech Republic, bringing the presents. And this is connected with the history of Christmas. So many centuries ago, people were celebrating not Christmas, but there was the day, as it is called, St. Nicholas Day, in the beginning of December. And it started as the tradition to just, I will show you the fountain and tell you the story. So I will continue telling you about the, how that it happens that children get the presents twice. And St. Nicholas Day is popular, and also Christmas is popular. So the camera. Back in the days, those like the priests, people who were in charge of the church, they decided to attract kids to that, to the church, and it was not so smart to tell the kids just go and read the gospel. And they decided to tell them, like, there is St. Nicholas, and he is a good saint, so he is going to he's bringing presents to the kids who are good. And that was a good decision for the kids to be happy, like to get something tasty back in the days. And then later, I think that this with Martin Luther, then Martin Luther said, with the era of Protestantism, like, yes, St. Nicholas is a good guy, but he is not saint, because in the Gospel, in the Bible, there is no saying that that St. Nicholas is saint, just Jesus is saint. And the focus of attention when celebrating the holiday just shifted from the St. Nicholas to Jesus Christ. So we are now celebrating Christmas, and kids are receiving the presents on Christmas Day. But this tradition for the kids to get something pleasant remained. And this is how I understand these two holidays, how they originated, and why St. Nicholas also stayed with us. I'm standing close to the beautiful fountain. It's actually called Beautiful Fountain. And I'm going to show you this masterpiece of medieval architecture. So flip the camera. You see, it's very bright, like the Lego toy. Sometimes when we think about the Middle Ages and about the Gothic something, like Gothic architecture, we think it is boring, it is not bright, something gloomy, but this beautiful fountain, it's really incredibly beautiful, and it's the example of the very of the amazing era of the Middle Ages. and it looks like a toy assembled here. What was the idea? So that fountain, to remind the people who were walking in this market and they were buying things that they are walking in like in our world, and they have to think about earthy things, about them. Something about material. So the fountain represents the philosophy of the Middle Ages. We can see here on the first floor the real level, the level of rulers, and then when we go up, when we look up, we see the representatives of the divine power and the worldly power. There are gargoyles all around this structure. They remind us about the deadly scenes. And at the top of the fountain, they are kind of unreachable creatures. Close to God, and those are prophets and absolutely sinless people, and we should aspire to reach them. But it's impossible, and it's better just to start thinking about them, about what we can influence, like the education and the science. So it was the model of the philosophy in the Middle Ages, and it was a smart way to remind people about the first level, about the science, education, and that they should live and work. And there are two rings, actually. It's an interesting legend. One ring is hidden, so let's go and find that interesting ring. I'm walking just behind this stone. So once there lived a master who created this beautiful fountain. Oh, here I am. And I can even stand like this, very high. So once there lived a master, and he didn't want to give his daughter to one apprentice, because he considered that the apprentice is not skillful enough, is not good enough. So he told him, you will have my daughter just when you will create the ring, the loop that will seamlessly fit into this edge. And he created this beautiful edge himself. And the master left the city and went somewhere. And this apprentice, he was working deliberately. He was polishing and polishing and polishing that ring. And finally, he polished it up to the, I will show you this magical ring, to the perfect state, and it's absolutely seamless. And the legend has it, the story has it, that you have to touch this ring and then you will be happy. But if you are a lady in the Middle Ages, you will become pregnant. And this is the most important thing for the ladies in Middle Ages. Ladies didn't need anything, just to get pregnant, because that was the goal of their existence, like to have kids. And more kids, the better, the more. And this is the ring. I'm standing close to it. You see, it's shiny. And I will try to we will try to move it. You see, it's very polished and very smooth. But there is another ring, the ring of power. It is the black ring. It is hidden on the other side of the fountain. And the person who managed to find the black ring will rule the world, will have the power and money as well, not just kids as those medieval ladies. So I know where this ring is. So when I was looking for the ring today, I found it, but it's really hidden. Like, you look at it and you it's difficult really to spot it, and I couldn't. So here it is. Probably I will point with my finger. This is the ring, but I will not reach it. I am too short to reach it. There was the guy, he was jumping high today and he could reach that black ring, so probably he will be more powerful than I am. So that was the interesting Legend of the Ring. And the fountain is really beautiful. It doesn't look like it is from the medieval times. It looks like it is modern, and it is decorated, it's painted with different colors, so it's very beautiful. Look at the city, how interestingly it's decorated. Everywhere on the houses there are different lights, and a lot of trees are decorated with lights. I am taking you now to St. Sebald Church, and then I am taking you through the medieval streets to show you the authentic half-timbered houses. You know that Nuremberg was ruined during World War II. Like 90% of the city was ruined during the bombing, because that city was the kind of the epicenter of Nazi Germany. It was the place where Hitler was making his parades, Nazi rallies, and that is why the Allies were bombing it heavily. And 90% of the city was lying in ruins. And then they decided to restore it, but they restore the city in a very smart way. What I wanted to say that they tried to mimic, to copy what was before. And some of the houses, just a few houses, managed to survive, and now I'm going to show them to you. But while we are walking along this beautifully decorated streets, you may just enjoy the wonderful Christmas decorations of the night city. Hello everyone, more show myself. Hi, and Merry Christmas to everyone. Happy holidays. This is just the beginning of Christmas season. Our souls are full of kind wishes, and I hope that this year will bring peace for my country, health and prosperity for you and for your families. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for coming to my tours. Today we are exploring Nuremberg. This is the first time I'm visiting the city, and it's different from Prague, and of course it's different from Ukraine. More lights, interesting things on the stalls, different, not the same as in Prague, because like a little bit more authentic stuff. And these half-timbered houses, I was just flabbergasted by them, and I am taking you to show these half-timbered houses and the executioner's bridge, and also I'm going to show you the first iron, how to say, suspendable bridge that is hanging above the water. First iron bridge. It's more than 200 years old, and everything is beautifully decorated. So stay with me tonight in Nuremberg. So when you are coming here on the market, you will see the sausages. So usually, like, the sausage is the usual thing that you can buy on the Christmas market. It's just the sausage. But here in Nuremberg, the sausages are very small. And the reason for that is that the city was closed for a night. It was kind of like a curfew. So the city was surrounded by the moat, and nobody was able to enter it. And the wives and the kids of the people, or of the men who just stayed outside of the city, who couldn't get inside, they were throwing into the keyholes these sausages. So the sausages had to be very small. This is the reason why the sausages here in Nuremberg are tiny. I like how these lanterns, lights, are decorated. It's so beautiful. They have like the wings of the butterfly and decorated with the green, like evergreen grass or the fir tree. And I'm showing you one of these beautiful pieces of architecture. You know, there were houses. This is St. Sebald Church or Cathedral, I'm not sure in the title. Let's be a church. So in front of ours, you can see that. Let me write if I'm saying not correctly. The bay window, or like the bay balcony. You can see the house, and something is kind of stuck out. I think it's called bay in front of them wall. And many people here in Nuremberg try to build their residential buildings like their fortresses. So just here in the city center there were houses which were unique, and they were called tower houses, fortress houses, or fortified houses, because life was quite dangerous in the Middle Ages, and wealthy people wanted to protect themselves, and they look like the mini castle. So sometimes you can see the small towers, but this bay that is just in front of ours was used in the houses for the prayers. So that was the place where the people were saying their prayers during in the morning, in the evening. And in Nuremberg they are everywhere. Sometimes they are very intricate and beautiful, like this one, and sometimes they are quite simple. My home is my fortress, I could say like this. It's the old beauty, and when you're walking in the city, you can't imagine that most of the houses were restored, and they are not from those from centuries ago. That is why this is because they wanted to put everything in agreement with the old layout and preserved as much as possible of the streets that were not completely ruined. And buildings were built exactly on the same foundations when they were staying, exactly on the same on the same places, and that was made to preserve this old beauty. And now we're coming in a little bit dark area, but it will be I have my light first of all, and then you will see now the beautiful lighting. The trees will be sparkling, and you will see this half timbered houses. So what are the half timbered houses? They are, so according to this to the fire safety, people were not allowed to build their whole wooden house, and the stone was very expensive back then. So people decided to save money and build just first floor, like the first floor of the house that was standing on the ground with stone, and the upper part was built with timber, with wood. And these houses, they made the whole city. So the whole city looked like the fairy tale, the picture from the fairy tale. But during that severe bombing, these timber houses were ruined. What is interesting, that in other cities of more people died than in Nuremberg. That is because below the houses they had the cellars to keep beer. According to the lore, if the person wanted to produce good beer, he had to dig the cellar. And they were digging and digging and digging, like a lot of people wanted to make the beer, and they were like law-obedient people. They were digging, and then there were different catacombs, and they could be combined all together, and they could form kind of like a whole maze. And that is why, thanks to these catacombs, thanks to the fact that people like to drink beer here, a lot of lives were saved. The cities like Dresden, for example, they were less ruined, but more people died because they didn't have the place to save their lives. And here in Nuremberg, 90% of the city were ruined, but not many people died. I don't remember the exact numbers. I think something like 2,500, but I will not. Thank you for buying me coffees. Thank you so much. Oh, this is the music from another phone. And that is an interesting fact for to know about the city. There is the old photos when the people are standing on the kind of the palace. This is called kind of Kaiser Palace, where the ruler used to live, and looking at this at the whole city, and everything is in ruin. Just one house is standing. Let me go to that beautiful neighborhood, and I will show you how they looked like. This during summer, I think there are no such beautiful illumination, so we are entering this amazing street. So this area was very it was a very dense building, so they were built close to each other, just standing wall to wall next to the other wall. And when you are standing close to these real half-timbered houses, you feel like they are shaking, moving. They are not ideal, they are not perfect, because here at the beginning of the itinerary, just when the tourists enter the Nuremberg, it's called Historical Mile, this itinerary that is popular among the tourists, there is the fake half-timbered houses, like the Disneyland for the tourists. And this area is not the Disneyland, this is the real half-timbered houses. This is how they built the whole town, and when you are walking along the street, you can really feel how the city looked like before the bombing. It's really beautiful, and it has different kind of not view, but you feel it differently at daytime and at night. When there are no tourists, no people, you're just alone, and the stars, you see the huge red stars are hanging from the ceilings, and these half-timbered houses with some fancy decorations on the walls that survived. So they are crooked, they are slanted, and you feel that you are really centuries and centuries ago. You have to come here and feel this street, because this is something really unusual. This, for example, that house is not half-timbered house, and this is one of the examples. So people couldn't afford completely stone houses, and they decided to make just the first part of the house, the stone, and then timber. So this is the wood, and in between the wood sometimes people stuck everything that they had, some straw, some even clothing and bricks. So there is different kind of things in between these timber logs. A lot of houses have these bay windows. Now they are not used for prayers, but they are used rather for to go and to drink coffee, to look at the other people. Somebody's putting the flowers, vases, and I have seen, you see that is the bay window, I have seen the armory of the knights. It's really very atmospheric, and this is the restaurant, and you can see in the like inside in the windows, you can see that the ceiling is also has this timber logs. So during the Christmas season, when they put additional lighting on the trees and these huge stars are hanging from the roofs, it's really beautiful and just an Instagrammable place. You can feel like they are not really not perfect, very old, very very authentic. When I was walking here, nobody was drinking here. There was just this empty street. I think the people moved from the Christmas market that was closed to that secret location. Look at this beauty. These timber logs, they might be of different color, yellow and red and brown. Look from that perspective, it is so beautiful. So how the Christmas markets started here in Nuremberg and also in Europe. Back many years ago, people had to buy food to survive in the winter, and that was there was the Christmas the markets that lasted for 3 days. And later they began to last for a couple of, like 10 days, for a couple of weeks probably. And a little bit later they were transformed into the Christmas market. But it originated from the fact that people really needed to eat, and they needed to buy food to survive the winter. And now I'm taking you to that first metal suspended bridge. There are so many bikes. I think that this city is the leader in using the bikes because they are just riding here and there. I will show you that. So that is the oldest suspension bridge that was made from metal. They changed the holders because many years ago the holders were made from wood. They were replaced 100 years ago, and now it's just their suspension, normal suspension bridge. It's a little bit shaking, but looks very solid. When I'm walking in the city in Nuremberg, I feel that some parts of the stones of the walls were restored, and some parts are new. But it is beautiful, and even during the night, it is very enigmatic and unusual. Quite a long bridge. And I'm going to take you to the next bridge, and then there will be kind of a wooden path of the executioner. You know, the executioners many years ago, they were very important people in the city, because the good executioner, he had to know the medicine. He had to be professional, and but people didn't like them, because I will show you myself. It's because, you know, people were superstitious, and nobody wanted to live close to the executioner. And usually executioners lived at the vicinity of the city, somewhere on the edge of the city. And that happened with the executioners in Nuremberg. he had a special house that was built on the bridge, and now it's kind of romantic and beautiful. You're living close to the river, but back then it wasn't romantic and beautiful because everybody was throwing the garbage into the river, and it was full of different dirty things. But what I wanted to tell, the executioner was living on that covered bridge, and the city began to grow. So the city grew and grew, and then the executioner's house found himself like in the middle of the city, and living is some kind of prestigious place. So now I'm going to take you to that bridge and to show you that executioner's house where he lived, and we will even see his toilet and I will show you the longest survived half-timbered house in Europe. And before that, to that one, you see the star is shining, and again the bay window. So it's one of those fortresses. So it was very unusual that the house is on their bridge. You know, that was the usual thing. The bridges were covered in the Europe, but it wasn't usual that the executioner lived here. So executioner was supposed to be a professional, and probably they decided to give him this special place. And also he even had his prison there. So you see that square tower, that was the prison. And he would take the people for punishment. And you see that is the big tower. I will come there closer. So that was the prison, and that was the executioner's house. This was a part of his toilet, and it's all completely preserved. All the woodwork, all the beams are original. You know what is now in that half-timbered house? It's just the dormitory for students. But it's interesting that this is the male dormitory, and this is the female dormitory. So the ladies, the girls, they live in the tower like the Rapunzel. So there is a separate tower for the girls. They can lock themselves in the former prison. So now I am going to take you through this timber wooden path, and we will find ourselves in the small island, and from there we will go to another historical place. Thank you for tipping. Thank you to those of you who are supporting me. That is a very important issue, because I feel like I want to show you something new, and you want to see some new places, and that helps me to survive and to create some new content. At night it's absolutely beautiful. No tourists, no crowd of the people, and just this bridge will be for us. You, when you are walking here, you feel like the city was built through the centuries, and you can see that sometimes there is the big stone, and the big stone is a part of some kind of a structure. And also, it's not here, but there is interesting passageway when you are coming closer to the castle, there is the stone passageway, and there are in the ceiling like this there are holes, and there was an interesting way. They were pouring the hot oil into the enemies. So when the enemy was attacking the city, one of the ways how they wanted to protect it, they were pouring the boiling water, and if the enemy was wearing the armor, it wasn't just possible to take it off that easy, and they were boiled just alive. The city has absolutely different look when there is no one. It's almost night, like it is night actually. The local time is 9:45, and the fact that it's just for hours, it is really beautiful. I love the story about the fact that actually beer saved the lives of many of the people in this city, because these brewmasters, people who were producing brewery beer, they were so obedient that they dig so many catacombs, and the whole population of the city could save their lives in these catacombs, and they are very deep under the ground, 10 meters below the ground. Now you might think that it's something not important, but when I'm from Ukraine, and when I'm telling about this, I really feel that it is really important. I was never thinking about the fact that someone will need the basements. My mom is here on the. Oh, I will tell you the story, and I will show you something. You see these bottles? Yes, you see the bottles, and in the houses, in the half timber houses, and especially in the houses. Yes, Lisa, this is life. In the houses, there are kind of the bottom of the bottles, and it's a very specific thing. So let me tell you. Made so back then, the glass, as you know, it was very expensive. Like the transparent glass was made in Venice, and just the rich people could afford that. But they wanted to have light in their rooms, and they had created this glass, like it's in the shape of the circles. It is very thick, and it allowed some portion of light to go into the room, but you were not able to see through this. And sometimes in these houses, especially in Albrecht Durer house, when you go to the tour to his house, you will see the small window. It's not just even in his, and there is also another Nassau house. All the windows looks like this when there are circles, and there is the thick layer of the glass which is not transparent, and then just one small window with the usual glass, with the usual piece of glass as you are accustomed to see it. Or there were no just windows with this transparent glass, and then you just have to open how deep down the catacombs, 10-16 meters, Ruth, as I know some of them reached even 16 meters, and they are available for the tours. So there are even the tours I haven't been able to visit. Today my bus, I was supposed to leave Prague at 4 a.m. so I didn't sleep at night, but then I got the SMS that the bus is broken, and like I left Prague at about 9, so half of the day was ruined, and I came here at 1 p.m. So I wasn't able to film a lot, and I wasn't able to go to the museum or anywhere else. So this is the way how all these half timber houses and fortress houses, what kind of windows they had. Currently this is the cafe, and they just decorate the cafe like this, but overall this is the interesting tradition. So I am leaving that island, and again the road, the way will lead me to this Christkindl market, to the market that is already closed. Okay, we will look at the beautiful streets. So this is the interesting story about these catacombs, because eventually they all joined together, and these small cellars of the individual people, they became the huge maze of joint cellars, and they were digging them like for hundreds of years, because production of beer is very popular here in Bavaria, and that is why they were constantly doing this. I don't remember exactly how many people died in Nuremberg, but in Hamburg the losses were the most severe. About 50,000 people died during the bombing, and in Dresden 25,000. And they died because they didn't have such huge beer cellars under the city. So love of beer saved the people who lived here. And the great story of that city is Albrecht Durer, because it's interesting that, as I told you, 90% of the city was ruined, but his house somehow survived. It's really a miracle of the art, the magic of the art. He was a very important artist, and he was kind of a genius. He created a lot of pictures and how they are called, engravings. So he was a respected person, and he lived also in half-timbered house. They even closed the market, to see with this with the fence. I think they will open it tomorrow. Because when I arrived here at, I think, so like 1 p.m., there were crowds of people, so probably they will open it at 10. And today at 2 a.m. at night, I'm leaving to Strasbourg. I am going to Strasbourg to show you France. So please join me, and you will be able to see beautiful France, and probably I will be able to take a train and to show you Colmar. Look, there is just no one. It's so beautiful. The Church of Our Lady. I was happy to discover something new for. It's a really great difference. It's different. The city has different vibes. It's not the same as Prague, and the architecture is different. And it took me just 3 hours and a half by bus to come here. Let me show you again. I am trying to now to recognize the way how to go to Albrecht Durer's house. Probably I will try to take you there. Thank you so much for buying me coffees. Thank you for rewarding me, and thank you for supporting me in these challenging times. So if you want to see Albrecht Durer's house, please stay with me. I will try to follow the mazes of Nuremberg, of this medieval city, and we will try to find it together. If there are people who live in Nuremberg or have been here, you can navigate me and tell me I'm walking in the city center, and I remember vividly that I have to now to turn right probably, and then even the police, I think, is leaving. Even the police doesn't want to work longer. I think that they have very strict working hours, like at 9 p.m. everybody should sleep. Thank you for staying with me. I think that there are many enthusiasts and lovers of Albrecht Durer art. If you want to see his house, and that is another area of half-timbered houses, like not the one that I showed to you, but the other one. So we have already taken this path, but we went down the road, and now we will go up. This is again St. Zebel's, the church or cathedral. We have began our tour from here. Hi, Olga. Kate is writing, this is my first time touring with you. I especially liked the bridge work. Thanks so much. Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you, Kate. It's a story. The story of this touring started with the Hego, with the Beams company, and now the guides from these companies that were thriving and flourishing during workout. We are trying to make the tours online. Thank you so much for buying me coffees, guys. Thank you. I will buy some mulled wine, as I called it, glue wine, and have a good sleep during my bus ride to Strasbourg. So this is the interesting story. I'm trying with you to find the Albrecht Durer's house, and probably we will find it very soon. The city center here is not very big, so I think that Nuremberg is quite a modern city, but this area which has the Christkindl market and which has this half-timbered houses, it's situated behind the stone wall, and also there is the way to the Kaiser Palace. I will show you now the tower over there. It's in light, it's also lit up, and that is very easy to follow. Like just to walk in the city center, in this medieval city center. You might be lost in the small streets. Not lost forever, because you can follow one of the groups and you will find your way. So I think that I recognize, and very soon, approximately in 3 minutes, I will take you to another area of half-timbered houses, and I will show you where Albrecht Durer was living. There are the images of Christkindl everywhere. So here it is, made in the light. And I would like to tell you about the tradition, interesting tradition of the plum fools. So when you are visiting, this is something that I learned in Christmas market in Germany. You can see the small figures made from plums. Ruth is asking, do you know if all the website for the guides is nearly finished? I don't know. I have heard that they are working on it and it will be finished very soon, but I really don't know when it will be finished. Now we are using the shared calendar, and please subscribe to the shared calendar. You will see how when all the guides perform their tours. Guys, I found this another section of half-timbered houses and Albrecht Durer's house. Let's look at this beauty. So patient. How long is the bus to ride to Strasbourg? It will take me about 5 hours and a half. So I am at 2 a.m. I have the bus, and it will arrive to Strasbourg in the morning, I think about 9. So that is, you see, another area, another street of these half-timbered houses. I have seen them quite often on the pictures, but so today I felt something strange. I will show you now this old area. When you come to these half-timbered houses, you feel like they are like the streets are very tiny, and I feel like they could collapse on me because they are not even, the walls are not straight. So beautiful and just interesting feeling that you have standing close to these buildings that survived. And yes, there was World War, and Nuremberg was the place where Hitler was making his rallies, and that is why the Allies punished the Nazis like this way. But when I was walking along this beautiful city, I really regret that this building didn't survive to our days, because the way how the city looked like was just amazing. So all the tourists, they went from the Christkindl market here to Albrecht Durer house, because there is also a small and here are these houses, half-timbered houses. So I began to tell you the story about the plums. You can see small figures of the people, and they are made of prunes, like the dry plums, the prunes, and sometimes apricots. And this is an interesting story. Back then, people were using child labor to clean the pipes of these houses, of these half-timbered houses. And these kids, they were becoming black because they were tiny, and it was easy to throw the child to the pipe and give him a brush, and the child would just clean the pipe. And these children were walking in the streets, and they were black, and the other children who were not black, they were just calling the names. They were saying like, you're a fool, you are like a black fool, like a plum fool, because the children were black as plums, and they were called plum fools. So now you can buy these figures. They are made from the plums, from the prunes, and they are of different shapes, of the kids and of the like man and a lady standing close to each other. Sometimes they have the brush for cleaning the pipes. But this is something that I have never seen before in any Christmas markets, these plum fools. They have the special name in German language. I'm not sure what is the name, but it's interesting that this story existing. Like now children, my daughter is on them now on our tour. My mom is on our tour, so my whole family is on our tour, and my children would never go to clean even the toilet, let alone the pipes. So that is the Albrecht Durer's house, and back then the children were cleaning the pipes of the houses. So this is another area of that half-timbered houses. This is where Albrecht Durer used to live. And that is a museum. So today we saw kind of the wonder of Nuremberg. I have shown you the most interesting things and places of the city, and we have learned that it was Adolf Hitler's favorite city, and still I think that it still lives in the shadow of Hitler. Because when people are coming here, there is also another area where this rallies were happening, where Nuremberg trial was taking place. Yes, and people always remember about Nuremberg trial. But this Bavarian town is famous for the first Christmas market that appeared here in 1612-20. And that is the place where the magic begins. To see Yes, Ruth, these houses, I'm very glad that I have taken you here. You see, from here you can see the castle. Behind these half-timbered houses, you can see the mighty walls of the castle. They are visible. And now the city is plunged into the darkness, but the Christ King will descend tomorrow from the sky, and all the people will fill their hearts with the kindness of Christmas. Thank you so much for being with me today. I love you all. Saying goodbye to you. And I'm so grateful to those who are supporting me, who are giving the time, the resources to explore the European cities with me. I hope that my tours brings pleasure to you, and I'm very grateful for your tipping, because that helps me to live. And I am going to show you the I'm standing close to this place. That is the passage I was telling you when you're coming to the castle, the special places where they were pouring the oil to the soldiers. So we have reached actually this entrance, and it's the dark tunnel, and over there you can see the holes. I don't know why it's just completely dark. The lighting doesn't allow you to see the huge passages. I don't know why it is dark. I will try to move the camera like this, and here you will see, probably no, it's also dark. So this is the passage that was guarding the city from the enemies. So basically they look like this, but on the ceiling. It is very dark now. That is why I'm not able to show you. I'm just pointing at them and they are not visible. These are the big holes on the roofs of the tunnel, on the top part of the tunnel, on the ceiling of the tunnel. There are the huge windows for pouring boiling oil on the enemies when they were entering Nuremberg. It's very authentic Christmas city and the embodiment of the spirit of German Christmas. And just tomorrow I will take you the day after tomorrow. The day after tomorrow I will take you to the embodiment of French Christmas. So if you have any questions, please drop them right now. I will go to the Christmas tree to say my goodbyes to you. It was lovely to see you today. I bought a hat, a new hat for my trip, and it's moving, it's living its own life. An interesting hat. Just moving here and there. So what are our plans? We are going to explore Strasbourg, Colmar, and then I am taking you to majestic Vienna in the middle of December. I hope that my tours will fill you with the Christmas vibes and will bring you a lot of joy this holidays. Thank you, Michaela, for your kind words, and you are from Germany, you know much more about this half-timbered houses, and thank you for writing compliments about my tour. It's probably you have seen Nuremberg with some other guides, but I think when the new person is coming to the new city, you always see it through the eyes of the different person, and I can point at something else and just add to the whole picture of to the mosaic that you have in your mind about this place. I'm just looking around and I see that it is so beautiful at night. So at the end of the tour, I will show you this beautiful square around the Albrecht Durer's house. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you. I will be away at the weekend, so might miss, but watch recordings and see you live later. Yes, I will leave the recordings for some period of time. Then probably I will replace the recordings with my videos if I manage to make them. So let's look around the area and I will say you my goodbyes. Thank you so much for tipping, for coming and for supporting me. Thank you so much. You see the night. Yes, thank you for your wishes of the safe travel. Oh, thank you, John, for buying me coffees. Thank you, Kate, for buying me coffees. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you, Julia. Thank you so much. I will be drinking coffee and some mulled wine along the way. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, you know, people are not going to sleep. People just moved from one market to this cozy place. Thank you, and please forget that we are visiting the capital of Christmas in 2 days. See you. Goodbye. You see, there are so many people all around me now. Goodbye, goodbye, everyone. Beautiful finishing of our tour, you know, just perfect. If I ever come to Nuremberg again, I will use the same itinerary. So I think it is perfect to show you the whole city and to finish at Albrecht Durer house. Thank you, Kay. Thank you. Goodbye. Love you all. Goodbye. Sending you German hugs. Goodbye. Thank you 1,000 times for the tips. Thank you. Yes, Marsha, I'm here by myself. Just myself.